Oh, YouTube. Yeah, I've just not long got back from Bury. I'm smelly and dirty, and yeah. Well, obviously, I wanted to do a video on this, and I thought, well, I might as well do it tonight because I had the computer switched on. I was doing other things. I was like downloading my photo archive from the weekend onto the laptop and the desktop, and doing a few other things. Yeah, I'll try to do this video without editing like I usually do, so you can see just how bad I am why I have to do so much editing on my videos. Yeah, Transformers the last night. Went to see it yesterday night. Yeah, it was on. I was up at Bury. It was on at the View Cinema at the Rock. Had my evening meal and went and watched it, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I wouldn't say it's the best film I've ever seen, but it was good. You know, as for a Transformers film, it was good. Now, before I go, this isn't a review by any means. It's just my general opinions of the film, and I am going to probably mention a few spoilers in this video. So if you haven't watched it yet, you're best switching off now. Let me just shut the door. There we go. I haven't got my fore lighting on because there's a bit of sunlight coming through the window. Might just be able to see that little rainbow thing. Sort of. Well, anyway, yeah. I sometimes you can see there's a bit of a rainbow hue coming in because of the way the light's hitting the lens. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I went to see Transformers the last night. Before I get too much into the actual film itself, what I wanted to do, I'm doing this as a chewing the fat. Actually, I wanted to do this as a live stream because YouTube's trying to get into the whole you should do live streaming on your channel, and I looked into the settings and it came up with this thing. Oh, you've got to download some encoding software, and it's like, oh, fuck that. If there's too much settings I don't understand. I thought it was just a case of click go live and boom, well, there you are. It streams the webcam straight through your computer onto YouTube, but obviously it doesn't work like that. So I wanted to do it live, and I quit out of it. So I'm just going to put this up as a normal video. I'm putting it up as a chewing the fat because it's just me talking. Yeah. Now I wanted to put this into context about this particular film. Obviously, I've only been a Transformers collector for the last is it 3 years? I got in to Transformer collecting just before Age of Extinction came out, because I saw what toys was coming out for the Age of Extinction line, and I decided to get into Transformer collecting. And with Age of Extinction, I'm subscribed to Alex Yu of the Raging Nation, and he does this thing whereby he does these videos where he gets all the little tidbits of information about the production and clips and any information he can gather on the film as it's during the making of the film and the production of the film. And he does this thing where he switches his camera on and talks for about 10, 15, 20 minutes about new clips, new little bits of information that have been released about the film. And I watched his coverage of the build up to Age of Extinction religiously. Now this time around I decided not to do that, and the reason being is because how it is with big movies. They always release all these trailers and they have adverts on the telly, and they try to do the mass media coverage to get as much information out about the film as possible to entice you into watching it. And they always put all the best clips, all the most interesting parts of the film in these trailers and such like. And so when you get to the pictures to actually see the film, you realise that it's just a series of all these clips that you've already seen before, loosely strung together with really long and boring parts where it's just people talking and dialogue and shit like that. So, and obviously there's a lot of hype involved when you see the trailers for the film, because you see all the good stuff up front. And I didn't want to get caught up in the hype for this one. I did see the first trailer when it came out, and I think I accidentally saw the second trailer because I was watching another film at the pictures and it just happened to come on. But I've been deliberately steering clear of all the upcoming coverage for Transformers: The Last Night. I've not been watching any of the clips. Definitely haven't been watching any of Alex Yu's Raging Nation videos, and I've been steering clear of that. It's been difficult, especially in the last couple of weeks, because on my channel feeds for both my YouTube channels, virtually every other video is a new clip for Transformers: The Last Night, and it's like, oh, resist, you know. And you see little tidbits of information. People like Alex Yu, when he did, obviously I've got the channel feed from Alex Yu, and he always puts the title on the video like Megatron is good, or Optimus Prime dies, or something like that. Hot Rod's in it, and blah blah blah. And all this. So you kind of have an inkling about some of the things that are going to happen. But fortunately, I managed to steer clear of most of the hype, and I went into this film fairly fresh-faced and able to watch it. And well, yeah, because that's the thing about me when it comes to these Transformers movies. I know because Michael Bay doesn't give a shit about Transformer franchise history, about everything that went on in the comic books, everything that went on in the cartoon series previously, and all the previous toys and character designs and all that. He doesn't give a monkeys about that. He basically took, back in 2007, he decided, this Transformers franchise is, pretty big deal. I want to make a live action movie about it. So he took the name and a few of the characters, he cherry picked a few bits from the Transformers lore, and then moulded it together into what his vision of what a Transformers film should be like. And well, yeah, first Transformers movie. And that was, fairly successful. And then it's like the 20th century. No, it's not 20th Century Fox, is it? It's bloody the one with the mountain and the stars. Anyway, they basically said, do that again. Let's have more of that. So then we got Revenge of the Fallen. Then we got Dark of the Moon, and then Age of Extinction, and now The Last Night. So it's been a very successful money spinning franchise, and for Takara Tomy as well, because obviously they're doing the toys out of it. So I went into this film without too much hype going on, and I can sit in front of it and I can watch it for exactly what it is. It's a mindless summer blockbuster, right? It doesn't matter the fact that it's based on Transformers. Doesn't matter about that at all. So that's what I did, and I enjoyed the film more because of that. And most Transformer fans, devout Transformers fans, don't like Michael Bay or what he's done to the Transformers franchise, because he's messed it up so much. He's basically done his own thing, and he's killed off characters, and he's ruined other characters, and yeah, he's upset a lot of people. And I'm sure there's some people who've watched this film and think it's a load of shit. And I can understand that, because everybody's opinion is different. Everybody's got a different opinion about what it is they're watching. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. There were a couple of things in it that didn't make sense, and I saw Firestorm's sort of review on it, and he mentioned this as well. Galvatron. Now, obviously, Age of Extinction, we had Galvatron. Hang on. Yeah, we had Galvatron, right? Actually, I've got the other one as well. I've got both. Got both of them. So yeah, we had Galvatron, and now this harked back to Dark of the Moon, when that scene on the bridge where Optimus Prime kills Sentinel Prime and then he kills Megatron. So obviously Megatron was dead, and his body was. This isn't just a theory of mine. I've got about what happened to Galvatron. Was dead, and yeah, I'm a bit out of order with this, aren't I? So never mind. I'm just going to carry on. Yeah, so Megatron was dead, and then you had this company KSI which came in and then took the bodies of the Transformers, and then they harvested from them their metal that they're made of and called it Transformium or whatever it was, and then they figured out a way to put a computer signal into it to get it to transform into whatever it is you want, and then they made their own Transformers to battle the real Transformers, so they could kill them and then pinch their metal and make more, use the metal and blah blah blah. Anyway, now in doing this, they created Galvatron, and they turned him into one of their bots. But I think by using some of Megatron's metal to make Galvatron, I reckon some of Megatron's spark must have been transferred into his spark. Must have still been alive, and it somehow got transferred into Galvatron, and it sort of played along for a while, and then it suddenly became, self-aware and started doing its own thing, and it announced its name as Galvatron. But really, it was just Megatron in disguise, and he was playing along, pretending to be this Galvatron. But I think after the Age of Extinction, you saw Galvatron did a runner basically at the end of the film, because things went pear-shaped and he buggered off. And I think he then decided, I can't be done with being Galvatron. Everybody's going to be hunting for Galvatron. So then Megatron, constituted himself, became Megatron again, changed his outlook, his armor and stuff, and then you see him in this film, quite early doors, barricades around one of the action sequences at the beginning of the film, and he goes to find Megatron, and there you see him. He's in this wrecked building, sat on a pile of cars like an armchair, and he's in his full, sort of like medieval armour type body shape that he's got for this film. 'Cause he looks a lot like them knights from the medieval times. He looks a lot like them, even though he's absolutely nothing to do with them. So it's weird that he chose that particular body shape, and obviously can transform into a space jet again, even though his design is totally different to the one he had in the original movies. But it is what it is, and love his design in this film. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, that's what I think happened to Galvatron. Galvatron was actually Megatron in disguise, and he decided, Megatron's spark was inside Galvatron, and then the spark took over, and he decided to basically turn back into Megatron because they were looking for Galvatron. He just killed him off and became Megatron again. So that was my idea. So yeah, that's one of the things that didn't make any sense. There was another bit as well. Obviously, Cade has got this. He lives in this scrapyard with this other bloke, and he's sort of harbouring a bunch of the Autobots. He's got Grimlock and Crosshairs and Drift and Bumblebee and a few others, and they get. There was a tracking device planted on Bumblebee, so. The TRF, which is the guys in this one, it's not Cemetery Wind, it's not Nest, it's called TRF, the government forces that are hunting Transformers, and they come in with their drone ships, and of course, and they also tipped off Megatron and the Decepticons to attack the place as well, because they're all after this thing that Cade Yeager has got, this medieval talisman type thing. And so they tipped off Megatron, and he basically attacked the big robots, and they went after the humans. Anyway, they escape in a like a convoy, and then they end up in this town, this derelict town that they say is abandoned and booby trapped. They've rigged it with explosives, just in case they got followed by the authorities, so they could bring them into this town, ambush it, and then blow it up. But then, 1 minute they're running around avoiding the Transformers and the TRF guys in this hick town, and then the next scene, they're in the middle of a metropolis, a major city, and it's like, what? When did this happen? When did this town become a mega city? That's another thing that didn't make any sense. Was there anything else that didn't make any sense? Anyway, right. Other things. Cogman is freaking hilarious. I love Cogman. He was just so funny. But he doesn't actually transform, and there was this mention about him being a headmaster, but you never actually saw Cogman transform. He's basically this cranky robotic butler who works for Anthony Hopkins' character, and he's this descendant of the Knights of the Round Table or whatever it is, or this secret order called the Wycan or whatever it was, that were looking after these ancient secrets and trying to find this talisman, which apparently led to the staff, which could is the means to can be used as a weapon to destroy a world. And then of course Optimus Prime's gone back to Cybertron, and then we find out that Quintessa's there, and she then bewitches. She's like a Cybertronian witch, I suppose you could say, and she's one of the creators, and she subdues and bewitches Optimus, and she does something where she wipes his face, and then you get this red stain comes down his face, and he becomes Nemesis Prime. So there's that. It's a very fast-paced film, lots of explosions and stuff going off. It's Michael Bay's film, really. I liked it. I thought it was really good. There was some bits in it that didn't make any sense in my mind. And yeah, it was all right. They kind of left it open at the end because it's got this thing whereby Cybertron was coming to Earth, and Earth was actually Unicron, and there was these big spiky things coming out of the Earth, which are like Unicron's got those teeth at the front where he chews up planets, and it was kind of Unicron's horns coming out, so to speak, all over the world. And at the end of the film, the destruction of Earth has been postponed. They stopped the thing that Quintessa was trying to do by sort of merging the two planets together, or basically destroying the Earth so Cybertron could live. And at the end, when the credits start, you see this bit in the desert, and you see this woman in a robe walking along in the desert, and she's going over to where these researchers are looking at this metal spire sticking out the ground. And so we don't think Quintessa is completely finished. She's still knocking about, and Unicron's still a thing. So the next movie, well, is the next movie going to be? Because I don't know, because there's been an announcement that Michael Bay says that's it, that's his last Transformers movie, he's not doing anymore, which is probably a good thing. The next movie, from what I hear, is supposed to be a movie that's specific to Bumblebee. There was mention that a lot of the Transformers have lived through ancient historical times on Earth, because apparently Bumblebee did something back in the Second World War, and there was this other Transformer then that transformed into a First World War tank, and so there's all that stuff going on. There's a lot of craziness, a lot of stuff, but they've left it open for another movie at some point. Hopefully it won't be Michael Bay. It'll be somebody else who's probably a little bit more sympathetic towards Transformers history, and prepared to do a bit more with it to satisfy the fans. But who knows? But all in all, I thought it was all right. It was a good effort. How would I rate it compared to the others? Bearing in mind that I like Revenge of the Fallen, the film that everybody else hates. I thought it was all right. I don't know how to rate it against the others because I haven't watched them for a while. Can't remember an awful lot about them because my brain doesn't necessarily hold on to less important information that easily. But so a little bit of a talk, a few spoilers, I suppose. It was all right, a good film. I enjoyed it. Your mileage may vary. And I just wanted to have a chew in the fat and to say, I've seen Transformers last night. I'm off next week. Obviously, on Friday it's the end of the month, so I'll be doing my end of month bot haul. I might be doing another chew in the fat later this week because I notice some people are starting to put out their TF Nation hopes and fears videos already, and I think, well, it's still got 7 weeks to go, and I think it's a bit early to be doing something like that because I tend to do my pre-TF Nation or well pre-convention video, sort of like the week before. But I might do it. I might do it as a cheer in the fat, perhaps later this week. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so just wanted to switch the camera on and have a bit of a chat. I'm not going to edit this, so should make it nice and easy to put on YouTube. So yeah, that's been me, TFR Wilderness. I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da.